worry about it. Look at Sarah Lee's screen. You look like an angel. Okay, so we're gonna do you're gonna do a basic warm up with me, and then Ryan is gonna lead you through strength stuff and use me as a demo because she's very sore from her competition yesterday. So since it's this beginner strength, my point to you is this little thing we're gonna do right now is something that you can just do every day if you want to, and at least if you do this every day, you've done something. All right, so we're just gonna start with like a full body joint range of motion. So starting with your feet, and if you need to be seated, you can do it seated, right? You can do your joint mobilization seated, but I'm gonna be standing, and so Ryan's gonna do it seated, and I may have to run and go get my glasses, and rotate your whichever foot you start with 5 to 10 times in one direction, and then 5 to 10 times in the other direction. And we're just gonna work our way up from feet to head. All right, place your foot down, switch feet, go a couple times one direction, and the other. We skipped the toes. I'm gonna include the toes, so you can just tuck your toes underneath you. That feels really good to me, like pulling the top of your foot. And then do the other side, hold it for a little bit of time. Maybe your foot, yeah, good. Even if you're noticing that this knocks you off balance, you'll say to yourself, good thing I'm starting a strength class. All right, we're gonna bend your knees. And again, same thing, maybe just straight, if you're seated, just straighten and bend your knees. Ryan can't even do that today. She did a competition yesterday and has been
my quads are very sore.
Has been heating her quads all day. All right, now we're gonna move up to your hips. Similar to what we were just doing with your knees, big circles, all in one direction. You could slow it down or speed it up. I like to go nice and slow and try to get, when you come to the front, really lean back and then switch directions. And then we're gonna do a standing cat-cow. So if you know yoga cat-cow, you're gonna like arch your spine forward and back. But so stand, you can bring your arms to your side and then curl forward and open up and curl yourself forward. Ugh. Do this a few more times. Good. And we're gonna do similar as we just did with your legs, but on your hands. So close your fists and open, and close your fists and open. Repeat that a number of times. And then start doing wrist circles, one direction. Ooh, lots of clicking just in our living room. Good, other direction.
It's just me, actually.
No, my wrists are clicking a lot.
Oh, okay.
And then get your elbows involved, so you can still do the wrist can still move as well. And then it's just a nice big arm circles forward and back. But we're not done, you still have to do your neck, okay? So side to side, you're gonna bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Ugh. Don't worry about how little my neck moves. Hopefully yours will move more. So one ear to one shoulder and then switch. And then you're going to rotate to look over your right shoulder and then over your left shoulder. One more time. And then look at the floor and look at the ceiling. Ugh. You can jut your bottom jaw forward. And then look down and up. And if you get anything from this, that is a little warm-up you can do every day. All right, so here she is.
Okay, so we've envisioned this beginner strength as a little bit of a series. So each session is going to combine like some key fundamentals about like things that promote healthy aging and staying strong through long life, and also will teach you your basic movement patterns and how you can put them together into little workouts that you can continue to repeat. And we'll send notes out and things so that it helps jog your memory, because no one retains workouts for very long. Even when you've been training for years and years, you just don't. So the first assessment we're going to do today is a single leg balance. So if you can stand, the single leg balance assessment is super straightforward. You start standing on both feet, and when you're ready, one leg, doesn't matter which one, because we're going to do them both, you pick up one foot. Where you put the foot that's now in the air is totally up to you. So you can pull it in front of your body, you can put it behind your body. We are also kind of assessing balance in general here, so it's fine to kind of wobble and try and kind of correct yourself. The art of balance is counterbalance. When you lose your balance, or when your leg gets tired, which may be, you can put that other foot on the ground. And then take a second and kind of like shake the legs out a little bit. And then you'll do the same thing on the opposite foot. So whichever foot was not the standing foot before is going to be the standing foot this time. Shift your weight into that foot. You don't need to like really stick your foot off the ground. Just anywhere off the ground is fine. Yeah, like a little knee tuck is good as well. Nice, and then again, when you start to lose your balance or when you start to feel some fatigue in the lower leg, you can put that foot down and reset. Now there's a second level to this assessment that you are welcome to play around with if you feel comfortable, or you can do that same thing again and see if you can feel a little bit more confident in the balance. So if the balance went fine the first time, then this time I want you to try it with your eyes closed. Your vision gives you, your body, your vestibular system, a lot of feedback for your balance. So when we try this, understand that it is really, really hard and may feel impossible this time around, and that's okay, but it's one of the things we're going to try and develop and improve as we go along. So you'll start the same way, pick one leg, shift the weight into that leg. You're going to come back into the single leg balance with your eyes open. And if you feel pretty stable there, now close your eyes.
Are you keeping yours open, Ryan?
I am at the moment, just to see how you're doing.
How's everybody?
All right.
How's everybody?
That's quite impressive, actually. Nice. That's excellent, Heather. Really nice job. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So once you've made it through the first like 10 to 15 seconds, you sort of get the feel for it, and then you can reset and try again on the opposite side.
And I want to say, if you are starting this from a place of that you lift your leg at all and you cannot, have a chair, right? I know some of you right now look lovely and will never fall doing this, but you can have some safety there and give it a second or two as well, right? We're taking for granted the fact that just lifting your leg and balancing is a possibility. So there's that.
Yeah, and truly that will come into play a lot in the things that we do, that it's going back to supplies and whatnot. Your environment is going to be your most important supply for the time being, and then we can and build from there. So that's our first assessment, is our single leg balance. It's a great thing that you can practice whenever. I like to do my single leg balance while I'm brushing my teeth, which, sort of starts to get kinetic. So I'll, put the foot down a little bit and go back to paying attention to my gum line and, pick the foot back up and switch. So your workouts need not be workouts, strictly speaking. It's just an opportunity to get yourself moving, and it's a really good way to develop leg strength and balance. The second assessment that we're going to play around with today and come back to quite a lot is getting up and down. So you can do this one of two ways. The full expression that we're working towards is going to be getting yourself into a seated position on the ground and coming all the way up to standing. Now, if that is not something that is available to you at the moment, the way to modify that would be to a chair, to another surface that is not as low as the floor.
So you want to tell me to get down?
Yeah, so there could be a lot of coaching in this, but instead I just encourage everybody to figure it out in the space that you're at. You can reach down. See, Maggie's done this a bunch, so she can do it pretty efficiently.
Nice.
And come back up.
Get down.
Oh, you want me to come down too?
Oh no, I'm telling people do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But like the place to start, right? We had a couple people who did it with very little assistance, but like a place to start, even if you're not going to the chair, if you're willing to go to the floor, would be like to use your hands to help lower yourself into the seated position. And then you can do the same thing coming back up.
Great.
There are a great many variations.
And
if I like this. Good job, Sterling. We didn't see all of it because you went angel and fully vanished, but it was very fun to watch you come back onto the screen.
Yeah, so you can change the way you have your feet positioned, go kneeling, like if you have to put like a knee to the floor, right? If you need to put your hands to press yourself, you can mess around with varieties of getting up and down, or, give it
For
graceful.
For anybody who's a kind of nerd, there's a scientific study out of Brazil that they, actually assessed longevity markers and how you could perhaps predict someone's longevity later in life. And one of the ways that correlated very highly was the ability to get up and down off the ground.
Heather, you're gonna live forever.
Yeah, I know. I was saying it's better even than I am, I think.
And the way they test it is like if you can get down without having to touch like one hand or a knee, to like minimal extra limbs touching the floor and up. Getting up for me is tough, but all right.
And truly, functionally, your limbs are still attached, so please use them if you need them. So those are our two assessments for today. They're things that you can play with and just throw in, after you do your joint mobilization, just like give it a shot. Sit down, stand back up. Today, we're going to do two major movement patterns. We're going to work on our squatting pattern, so sitting down and standing up. And we're going to work on our upper body pushing pattern, in particular working on like pressing away rather than pressing up. So technically there are two directions in overhead pressing, but the overhead press is a little bit more challenging, so we're going to work towards that. So we're going to talk about our squat. So Maggie is going to show us what a good full range body weight air squat looks like, because it truly will take me an hour to get into the bottom position at this moment. So she's going to set her feet right about shoulder width. There's like some wiggle room there, depending on limb length and things of that nature. But she's going to keep her weight balanced on her feet. She's going to shift her hips back, start to sit down. She can use her hands to counterbalance. We're going to...
like you need
okay.
I would not be the best demo for this, except that Ryan is sore.
Yeah, I'll at least sit into the bottom so you can see. But what you are aspiring toward is the point at which your hips sink below the level of your knees.
We know you got this, Sarah Lee. All right.
And you can come on up to stand. But all of our movements exist on a spectrum. So you can make them as hard as you need to, as you get more advanced, and you can start off as simply as you need to.
So you can also then opt to have the chair behind you, and it'll help you be safe. You know you're going to get to it. And if the strength to get up from this position as opposed to from lower, press your feet into the ground to get up.
Excellent. Yeah, so this is where your environment is your resource. You can have a chair, you can build yourself something. Yes, our coffee table is a little bit lower than this chair is. And one way you can work on it is gradually lowering the surface that you feel comfortable sitting to.
So I'm very happy that you guys can squat. We are showing you right now, and then we are actually going to do more of them.
That's true. We're going to do like an actual mini workout with the squat.
So you don't have to just keep squatting, but good job.
Yes. Well, and it's important to kind of realize where you're at, so that when we talk about kind of building up, in the same way that you may start squatting to the chair and then standing, if you are abundantly comfortable with the range of your squat, then we start to talk about loading, and this is where dumbbells and things like that come into the mix. We won't go too far down that road right now. What we're going to do is a little mini workout with our squats. So the first format of workout is going to be, the lexicon is EMOM. It stands for every minute on the minute. So for 5 minutes, at the top of the minute, you're going to do 5 squats or your selected modification for that movement. So if that means you're doing 5 repetitions to your chair, then you do 5. If you can do 5
all the way up and down,
you can do that. If you are inclined to add weight, you are welcome to. But bear in mind, you don't need to test the bounds of where your strength and recovery are right now. This is just to give you a sense.
I'm going to say, if you have not done 5 squats in a row in a long time, maybe you don't need to do any weight. See how you feel. What would you say? Just make them do weight?
No, I think that's fine.
I feel like if you've never held a weight and do squats, see how you feel doing this workout today, like your soreness tomorrow. You might be surprisingly sore from doing squats with no weight. And then you'll have the next 2 weeks until we meet to play with adding some weight. So we should practice one holding weight, but okay.
Yes,
Anyway.
just to review.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
You all are our guinea pig class. So we're gonna do the 5 minute EMOM, and like Maggie said, the idea is this is something that you could do a number of times between now and the next time we meet. And what you should find is that 5 gets easier, or you feel comfortable increasing the number that you do every minute, which is an option, or you feel comfortable moving through a deeper range. And practice, your body will adapt pretty quickly if you get some repetitive practice in. Okay.
So how long is this EMOM?
It's 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's 5 minute EMOM, and every minute you do 5 squats. Make sense? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the clock. I think maybe I'll squat to the table.
Okay, yeah. And I can squat. I don't need the chair.
You can use the chair if you want, or you can use the slant board if you want.
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah, I will use the slant board.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a 10-second countdown because that's how my app works, and then we'll start. 10-second countdown. 3, 2, 1, 5 squats. Oh, that's still so hard.
Is that... Has
Yeah.
Mike joined?
I was like, I assume that that's Sarah's mom, but I can't actually see.
Let me see. I have to look closer. Oh my gosh, look at that. That makes me so happy.
Good, and so then once you get to 5, you rest for the duration of the minute. So you should have quite a bit of rest.
Halfway there.
Hi, Mrs. Zija. So 5 squats and then rest. You guys have done many. Okay. I don't think they can hear.
Oh, okay. Type it in there.
Hold on. Stop.
10 seconds.
This is not.
All right. Everybody's back in their little
Round,
spot.
round 2.
Next
5
5.
squats.
And if you don't want to count, you can just stop when we stop.
I think they're just gonna do squats for 5 minutes. and be
So done. And you know, when you stop, you can stand up,
Yeah, good.
shake
Stop.
the legs out a little bit,
Halfway there.
and like high five your buddy if you're working out with somebody else.
I'm using a slant board to do squats. So you could also just stick something under your heels if you're not so mobile like myself. Like roll up a
10
blanket.
seconds.
This will be good.
All right, we're ready to go again.
Round 3.
2, 1, go.
3.
Augie's being a terror. Oh, it's getting better, friends.
So just 5.
Oh.
Good. So that was round 3. We have 2 more rounds. Do your quads feel? Are you feeling it in your quads?
Halfway there.
Okay. Yes. You're muted, but so thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, you can point. It's your quads. It's like potentially your glutes, your hamstrings.
I'm glad I didn't use the weight. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Is that Sarah Zisha?
No, it's
Oh, it's Heather.
10 seconds.
Okay, I was like, oh, she can hear us.
5 seconds. Round 4.
Round
5 squats.
And if 5 feels like a lot, you can also bring this number back down. I just try and use as few different numbers as possible for everybody's happiness, or at least mine.
Okay, one more round. Rest. Is it helping?
It is. It is helping slowly.
Halfway there.
I'm glad I didn't pick a bigger number for myself.
Good. I like what I see. Down in the bottom box, in between squats, they're just like, oh, you know what? Let me do some.
Yeah, move a little.
Let me do those joint mobilizations we did before. 10 seconds.
We're very serious here. 3, 2, 1.
5 squats.
Last round.
Last round. I started late.
It's okay.
I'm just letting you know.
All right, so that's 5 rounds. That was a 5-minute EMOM. Who can tell me what EMOM stands for?
Every minute on the minute.
Great. Now you know an EMOM. Okay. That is one type of workout you can do for yourself. All right, love.
Okay, so that's our first movement pattern. We're going to do one more today that we'll introduce, and then we're going to do the same thing. We'll do a 5-minute EMOM with this new pattern. This one You may have to leave your space a little bit or adjust your screens if you want to take us with you, and that's okay. But we are going to work on upper body pushing. So the the fullest expression of this for us for now is going to be a push-up. Don't leave. Nobody leave because I said we're doing push-ups. So by full repetition, we're going chest to the deck and press back up, keeping a nice strong line with your body.
That's probably not what you're gonna do today.
But that's the objective.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna get.
The way we adjust this movement along progression and regression is by changing your angles. So if you've been to a gym class in a little bit, the first thing folks will do is put their knees on the ground. So that's one option. You can drop your knees to the ground and try the same thing. What we're going to recommend is instead of doing that, you raise your hands off the floor. So if you've got a coffee table, if you've got your chair, you're going to lower down to that elevated surface, and because the angle has changed, you're taking less of the weight. Now, it may be that you need something
Even
quite
higher.
high, in which case,
Scooch the...
you can take it to a wall. Right? And on the wall, it's the same press. You get that strong body position. You get like a little awkward as you get close to the wall.
You just give the little wall a
Locust.
little kiss.
And then you press away.
So if you don't... The wall space doesn't need to be terribly large. You just need to be able to... So find and test your objects, right? Like maybe you have a coffee table.
Yeah, Heather moved her chair against the wall, which I support for just more stability.
Smart. So you can have the chair against the wall so that it doesn't slide on you. Sarah, are you looking for something? Zija?
I have something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know why everybody's unmuted now, but it's fine.
Open season. Excellent. So as much as we... Oh, nice, Heather.
Yeah.
All right, Zija, you got something? Okay, great.
Okay, so the first thing that I want you to get a sense for in your setup is that strong plank position. Because ultimately, if your elbow's not feeling great or your shoulder, you can still work on the full body strength of a strong plank position. And I want to make sure you can hold this before we move rather than working in a compromised position. So if Maggie were to let her hips sag or her shoulders break and she comes into a weakened position, she might still be able to press, but she's opening herself up to not feel super great afterwards. So the first thing to do, and we're going to get a little close to the camera so I can see everybody's bodies. Good. Is that stable plank position. Excellent. Okay.
Mama Zija, can she bend her elbows? Or are you fine?
Yeah, I was like, not yet. We're not even pressing yet. So, second stage. So stage 1 from wherever you're set up is the plank. Stage 2 is going to be a scapular push-up. So it's just the movement of your shoulder blades. Your elbows are actually not going to move at all. Right? So Maggie's got nice straight arms. She's drawing the shoulder blades back. And then she's going to round them, separate them as much as she can. Nice, Heather. And you're going to do that from the plank position on the floor, on your surface, whatever the case may be. Thanks, love. Nice straight arms. Pressing in and out. Maybe 3 to 5 times, just to feel it.
You're just drawing your shoulder blades towards one another on your body. Don't worry about what anybody else looks like. You try to find drawing your shoulder blades together.
There we go. Okay, nice. Scapular stability is the base of any kind of shoulder strength. So even just regularly integrating that motion with your shoulders is going to build a lot of control. So now that we have those two pieces, our nice strong plank and the scapular push-up, now we can go into actually pressing. So here's the challenge for you and for kind of everybody across the board. It's really tempting to say, I think this is the right level for me, and then only do just the smallest press. If that feels like what happens when you use the surface that you're on now, come up to something higher. Even if across the board we all come to a wall and do wall presses. But what we want to get into the habit of, practically, is being able to receive our bodies in the full range. God forbid we fall, you end up on the ground and you're not expecting to. It's that full range of being able to press yourself up that's going to keep you healthy and strong.
/ get up from the ground.
And get up from the ground.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. So like I said, we're going to...
I was going to say, so we're going to do another 5-minute EMOM.
Yes. So we're going to do another 5-minute EMOM. With this one, it's not going to be 5 because I want you all to like me at the end of this. I'm going to say 3 is your target number. And if you get to the point where you run out of pressing, which may happen, then you're going to hold a plank for about 10 seconds and then come down. It'll be about the same amount of time as 3 presses would be
so
anyway.
You're saying if they can't press anymore, like in one of the EMOMs, if they're like too weak to press,
correct.
Don't do.
Yeah, don't do
Okay.
the worm to whatever your object is.
Okay.
And we'll have our eyes on you so that if you're holding your plank and you're like, I can't count to 10 and hold this plank, I will also say like rest so that you know that this interval is over. It should be quite short, and it's short on purpose. So
5-minute EMOM, 3 push-ups, or
10, 15-second plank hold.
So if I know right now that I probably should move to the wall, I mean, should I do any of it on my chair?
I personally say yes, so that you can see what you can do.
Start on the chair and then move to the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a great question. And ultimately, you're the best arbiter of the answer. Like, if you're feeling pretty good and you want to explore it, absolutely, because it is so quick to change. There are other days where you may be like, I don't think the chair is happening at all today. Like, I'm a little tired, I'm sore from the last time. Then you can, it's not that the answer has to be the same every time, even for the same person. What are you going to use, love?
The table.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm going to do them on the floor.
Okay.
Alright, hang tight, we're moving some screens around. Everybody gets set. Ten seconds. Remember, if you can't hear us or the clock, you can just move when we move.
Let's go.
Alright, that's minute 1. 3 reps. Okay.
Nice job. If you can't get your chest to the surface that you're using, try a higher surface.
Yeah, and you can like build one, so if you've got a table, you can put pillows or blankets or something on top of it so that it's a little bit higher without having to do a whole lot of moving around.
Just 3. Roti.
10 seconds.
3 push-ups.
Sarah's gonna be the most
I
sore
know.
after this. 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Round 2.
I'm gonna watch y'all first this round. There we go. Excellent.
Good.
Okay, now we'll go. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Oh, that's taking no time.
Yeah.
So rest.
You know, you
Do
can,
it all.
again, right? Like,
Halfway there.
This is
Yeah.
our dance break. Thank you.
move your spine around.
Sarah's like, I got this part.
Yeah. You can floss. I can't floss.
Remember Brian flossing? There you go.
10 seconds.
I don't, but that feels like a memory I want back. Alright, stand by. Round 3, 2, 1, go!
Round 3.
Okay, good. We got some planks being held. Good job. Good listening. Good using. Good regressing yourself.
Yeah. Ultimately, the most important thing for starting to get strong is working where you can do it day after day for a while. You know, having one workout that knocks you out for a week makes it much harder to actually start building strength. You want to
10
spend a
seconds.
while just
Okay, we have
gradually at it.
next round coming. Now they're just all holding the plank. I'm confused.
2, 1.
Next round. 3 push-ups. Or 10-second plank hold. 10 to 15 seconds.
Good. And then once you're through your repetitions, rest. Excellent. Now, there is a time at which you will have the strength to do some press repetitions and then hold the plank as your active rest. But we're not going to do that today.
Do elbows go straight back towards your body, or do they go out a little bit?
You sort of split the difference. So you don't need to worry about tucking super tight, especially at the
Okay.
wall. But you don't want to be sideways, like out at the 90. So
10 seconds.
Okay, is this round 4?
this is round 5. Very last
Woo!
round of the
This
presses.
is round 5 already. 3 push-ups or hold your plank.
Lordy.
Great job. You've done 2 EMOMs. All right.
So we're not going to throw like a whole lot of like jargony things at you, but like I mentioned, like EMOM is one type of workout that you can do, and we've shown you 2 different movement patterns, your squat and your upper body press, that you can start to incorporate. And the goal is to repeat this in some way, shape, or form on your own, at least a couple of times over the next few weeks until we meet in person again. Next week, we will do another style of workout, so it won't be an
in 2
EMOM
weeks.
in 2 weeks. And it will be another set of movement patterns, so that by the end of our little series here, you'll have a collection of things you can integrate into a regular movement practice.
So over the next 2 weeks, you can do exactly what we just did. 2 EMOMs, 5 squats, and 3 push-ups. But if, as Ryan said before, if the squats start feeling like, oh, you know what, I could do 10 squats every minute, that's make that choice and do progress in the next 2 weeks, especially if you are doing this a couple times a week. All told, it's only like going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to do. I would say the push-ups, don't increase them. Or would you increase them? Or yeah, just keep increasing them at like the level that they're at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before you try to go to a lower level, same thing. If you're doing 3 right now, work your way up to 5 or 8 by the next 2 weeks. Maybe you stay at 3. All right?
Yeah, I will say, because it's a goal that comes up a lot with people, and especially women, the upper body strength takes longer to build. So you may feel like the squats come to you really quickly, your legs are feeling strong, your balance is better even, and you're like, and the push-ups are right where they were. And that's totally fine. You're on a journey with a lot of people who are working through this themselves. So, give some patience to it. And as you go along, if you are looking for feedback of your movement, if you want another option of how to incorporate this into your day, we're both here for you and are happy to make sure this becomes something that feels like a habit and not just a one-off.
Yeah, and I will email you the EMOM and exactly what we did today. And granted, all told, it's really not a whole lot of information. We didn't really do a ton, but those are things that you can use to do other workouts for yourself. But I will send that to you. And like I said, it's not a ton now, but we're really trying to make it stick. Okay? So, what you want to say? Do you want them to try to squat with a weight, or?
We'll throw that in week 3.
Okay. We're gonna wait on the weights.
Yeah.
Okay.
we're gonna wait on the weights. Week 3, we're doing some really cool movements that sort of necessitate an object of some kind. So it will come around nicely.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that they just want to say?
Proclamations.
Anybody have proclamations? You're good? Sarah, Lee, what are you looking at?
Oh, I do have a question.
Okay. Yes, we are here for you.
Okay. When I do, this is maybe a bad question. I don't know.